Okay, the comment section here might end up a little bit controversial, and that is because we're talking about the Keith Lee versus basically the entirety of a UK situation. If you don't know who Keith Lee is, he's a very popular American restaurant owner who recently decided to go on a bit of a tour and found himself trying out a couple of places in the UK. There's this general thought, right, that a lot of food in the UK is terrible because you've seen things like beans on toast, and shepherd's pie, and foods that, were generally invented during times when we were rationing our food and during wars, basically. But listen, hear me out. Toast, butter, baked beans, the real ones, not barbecue, Heinz baked beans, plastic cheese, melted. So good. So good. Don't knock it till you tried it. If you tried it and you hate it, then you can knock it. And there is this kind of thing where where people say that the UK has like more of a blander food. And listen, no offense to our food, because I love some UK food, but a lot of you know I lived in the US for a while, and I remember moving back to the UK and eating for the first time in the UK, and I could taste nothing. Absolutely nothing. My palate had got so used to certain flavors, certain artificial flavors we can't use in the UK, things like that, that when I was eating food in the UK again, I was like, this is just texture, there's no taste. It was not awful. I wouldn't say it was awful. But listen, let's have a look here.
Me and my family are officially in London, and it's 10 o'clock in the morning, so the first thing we have is breakfast. I got it. Let's try it and rate it 1 through 10. We didn't spend anything because this is from the hotel. On top of being here for the food tour, we actually got invited by Netflix to come and watch behind the scenes of Bridgerton. Ooh. So the first couple of days isn't technically food tour, but
Is Bridgerton filmed in London? Or is he in the UK and he's just saying London? Because some people are like, I've been to London. It's like, where have you been? And they're like, Manchester. I'm like, well, that's a whole different city. We don't think London is England. We think London is the city, London.
Sneak in just what we eat. So under here is a full English breakfast. At first glance, to me, it looks like a normal breakfast, but
that doesn't look great to me. That egg looks overcooked. It's got a skin. That's black pudding, which is fucking amazing. I never eat this. The tomatoes and stuff. Mushrooms I don't eat on breakfast because they're mushy. Sausage looks fine. Bacon looks fine. I do have to say, though, that doesn't look like regular bacon.
The longer you look at it, the more things that I don't recognize start becoming apparent. So we got eggs, hash browns, sausage, a mushroom, bacon, beans, tomatoes, and black pudding or blood sausage. Then we got a bakery basket, Danish, croissant, toast, orange.
Throw this away. It's been years since that release. Throw it away. Whose is that?
Whole grain mustard, brown sauce, mayonnaise, and
What's
another
the
brown
makeup
sauce. Start with the eggs. It's like a soft scrambled egg. I love a soft scrambled egg.
Can I just tell you, sorry, I keep interrupting. I love hotel scrambled egg. You know when you go to a hotel and you get that shitty buffet scrambled egg? I love it. To a point where I Googled, how do I make scrambled egg the way hotels do it? It turns out it's just water to make it go further.
It's salted well. It's an egg. It's cooked very well.
I can't stand the sound of people eating. Why is that so loud? Oh,
very
I hate that,
to
like,
McDonald's hash brown,
salivary
even though it's a lot greasier and a lot less salty. 4 out of 10. It is very crispy and there's a lot of potato on the inside, but it's very greasy. Bacon.
Yeah. Our hash browns are very greasy in the UK. It's just the way we like them.
It's very thick cut, hickory smoked. What do you rate bacon? 7 out of 10. It's bacon. Now, just those 3 items I can eat, and it don't feel like I'm not at home. But this is where it starts getting different. I'm not going to eat the beans just by themselves because it's just beans. I'm going to put the beans on the toast.
No, you need a bit of everything. You need to stack it up. That's not how you do beans on toast. No butter?
The bread is definitely stale. The tomatoes kind of taste like they were basting.
I think that's sourdough bread, and sourdough bread doesn't toast very well.
Ketchup, and a very sweet ketchup too. It's very mushy. In my opinion, there's no flavor other than
Wait, you have beans in the US? You have beans in the US. Why is he acting like they're brand new?
Like I said, a sweet ketchup, no salt, no seasoning. In my opinion, this is extremely low. 1 out of 10.
But you're not meant to do that. You're meant to stack it up. You're meant to have a bit of everything. So you get your toast. You cut off a bit of toast. You put a bit of bacon, a bit of egg, a bit of the sausage, a bit of the beans. 1 mouthful.
Mushroom. And as a mushroom lover, I'm not really sure this is what it's supposed to look
I
like.
don't
Or
like
I'm just not
mushrooms
familiar
like
with
that.
what type of mushroom this is. I normally wouldn't just bite into a mushroom by itself. So just to give a fair shake, I'm going to eat it with some
Well, then do that with the beans.
Some eggs. A little bite of hash brown. A little bacon. Just to be fair, this is what I would do at home. Not mushroom.
Do it with the beans.
It's just a mushroom. It don't feel like they did anything to it. It's just a mushroom. I'm not gonna rate it.
Yeah.
Sausage. It tastes like a pork sausage. It don't really taste like anything but pork to me. I was expecting like sage or some kind of herb because there are like speckles of herbs in here.
Yeah.
But to me, I don't really taste anything but just pork. And I'm not a huge fan. 4 out of 10. Last but not least, the black pudding or blood sausage. According to Google, this typically contains blood, fat, cereal, and seasonings. I'm gonna go completely non-biased, and I know this is something different. This is something new. I'm gonna just try it. Open-minded.
Oh, I'm gonna have to cut
Immediately tastes like blood. It tastes like iron.
It doesn't taste like blood. It doesn't taste like...
I've had liver and things that taste like iron. It tastes like iron. I've had
Iron? Iron. You don't pronounce the R. It doesn't taste like blood. Pudding shouldn't or does not taste like blood. It's definitely a bit gritty. But it doesn't taste like blood or iron.
liver and things that taste like iron, so it wasn't the iron taste that kind of threw me off. The chunks of other things is extremely unsettling.
Okay, that makes
I fully understand that's a thing that people enjoy, and it's an acquired taste, or it could be an acquired taste. I haven't acquired that taste by any means. I could be completely wrong, but I feel like this is kind of the equivalent to chitlins. Like how some people in some cultures really enjoy chitlins, and you can go to somebody's house in the South, and they're going to tear some chitlins up. But not everybody in America eat chitlins.
Right.
I feel like this could be that. I feel like not everybody in England might eat that, but the people who do eat it really enjoy it.
A lot of people
but for
hate
me,
it.
it's a 0 out of 10. I'm not going to let this be my first impression of English food because, again, it's hotel food. I'm still extremely optimistic of what this food tour holds, and I can't wait. God bless you. Have an amazing day. I'll be safe.
Honestly, in my opinion, 100% fair. A lot of English breakfast, especially when you go... A lot of you don't really want anything fancy. It's just you have all these bits together. They're not over seasoned. It's not over. You have it like little taste bits all together. Black pudding, 100% get it. It doesn't taste like blood, but well, the nice ones don't. But it's not for everyone. Imagine like a gritty pate. It's like that. I can only think of 2 people I know that like it, and then me, a third person. A lot of people hate it. But of course, we don't all eat the same food in the UK. It's like saying everyone in the US eats the same food every day. It's just stereotypical, isn't it? But yes, a lot of breakfast like that, like greasy spoon breakfast, it's very quick, it's very basic. It's like, it's just these ingredients together. No one's trying to impress anyone. That's just what it is, right? I think it was very fair. The hotel, not in a horrible way, breakfast doesn't look great. I do think there's a difference between this hotel breakfast and a full English breakfast you would get anywhere else, like in cafes and stuff, where it's a little bit nicer. I don't think this hotel is great. I hope Netflix aren't paying for this hotel, because I would ask to move. That toast, that was concrete. That had to be sourdough. You know what I mean? There were complaints about salt, seasoning, but he did show a plate of sauces and salt and pepper. So you can, if you consider salt and pepper seasoning. We tend to, season our own food, I guess, as we go, or add flavoring as we like. I think that was fair. And I think you can't just expect people to try things that you like and be like, why don't you like them? Anyway, Keith posted this and the UK was not happy about it, with him losing literally tens of thousands of followers and getting over 13 million views on the video itself. That's crazy. You can't expect... Okay, this is wild. Let me go through some of the comments, because surely not. Keith, you should have bought your own seasoning. Yeah. Them folks don't know nothing about seasoning. You know what? I know some people in the UK and England might find that offensive, but... we don't. You may be from a household that's lucky enough to have influences from all around the world, and you may get some great seasoning, but a lot of places in the UK don't know how to season. Have you seen people cooking chickens in the UK? But you know what, at the same time, that's just the taste we're used to. That's just what we like. That's just what a lot of people like. Not everybody wants something over seasoned. I'm sorry, but this has changed my view on how he rates food. How can a sausage taste too much like pork? This has just blown my mind. I think maybe he thought meant it was a basic sausage. That's what I got from it anyway. It was a basic sausage. Whereas it did look like it had some herbs and spices in it. When you get like the pork apple sausages and things like that. That's what I thought when I saw it. I was like, oh, that's going to be a special sausage, like one of those fancier sausages. The fuck you mean tastes like pork? Sausage is literally pork. As a chef from the UK, you've completely missed the point of a full English. Go to a local cafe, yes. on a hangover and you'll see the beauty. Yeah. So local cafes or greasy spoons, they make such good breakfast, and it's a lot more, I don't know, it's just homelier than that breakfast was. That's a hotel breakfast trying to be too fancy. But where are you? As a Brit, that looks like Premier Inn breakfast. Please don't judge us on this. This is foul to us. Yeah, it's like batch made. Apart from the egg, we love a batch made egg. You're doing us dirty here, Keith. I love you, but you can't be doing a review of hotel food. Coming from an American, don't really understand why you're reviewing a hotel breakfast. Don't knock it. Sorry, American breakfast. The one thing me and my partner look forward to when we are in the US is breakfast. Breakfast in the US is done correctly, right? Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Man ruined his credibility over a plate of beans on toast. Why though? He doesn't know how to. Imagine being in the UK, right, and going to the US. Would you know how to eat or make grits if you've never had them before? Do you even know what grits are? Right? Beans on toast, a very English thing. How do you expect people to do it? You know you're allowed to add salt and pepper in any sauces of your choice, right? Oh hell no! It actually tastes like blood. No, it doesn't. Keith is no, it doesn't. Keith is eating brickle, brackle, and fizzy wickets for us. You better be appreciative. Why did it take you 3 business days to bite into that toast? Because it was stale and hard, and that it was awful. Honestly, I don't know where he is. But then in most Premier Inns, don't you have to toast your own toast? Some people are right, but some people are wrong. Like, you can't expect people to know. I don't think to go far as to say he's ruined his credibility is too much. Come on, guys. He just doesn't know how to make good beans on toast. Sorry, eat good beans on toast. And the hotel has made a terrible breakfast. But the controversy doesn't stop here though, right? With people coming online to defend/attack British food with their lives. Okay, so let's have a look. I just know this is going to be horrendous. All right, let's go. Can I just say, English people and people in whatever country you're in, don't be offended when people don't understand something from your country. You know what I mean? Come on. We can't be offended. People don't understand it. Show them how.
I've just seen that video of Keith Lee. If you don't know who Keith Lee is, he's a giant food reviewer on here. Millions and millions of followers. And he's in London. And I just saw him reviewing beans on toast. What the fuck are we doing here? Why?
It wasn't a review of beans on toast, though, was it? It was a review of a hotel's breakfast.
We're reviewing beans on toast. If you can't look at beans on toast and have a good idea of what that tastes like, you don't deserve to own a phone. Alright, and God, the state of them eating them, you would have thought it was dog shit on a cracker. I just fucking eat them. I thought Ant and Dec were going to jump out and be like, if you eat the beans on toast, Keith, you get 9 stars for camp, like.
So for anyone who doesn't understand it, Ant and Dec are 2 TV presenters in the UK, and they host I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, where celebrities go to the jungle, live for a while, celebrities, and they do this thing called a bush tucker trial, where they eat like grubs and stuff like that, and they get stars to win meals for their camp that evening. So he's saying he thought that this guy was acting like he was eating horrible stuff, you know?
Fucking, how did we get here? Of course, Americans are stitching the video, but like, I told y'all, food in the UK was our fault. Mate, it's fucking beans on toast. What are we doing here? Not every meal has to taste like sweet Mama Riri's fucking hot pickled buffalo asshole McNuggets, alright? Sometimes you just want a quick wee struggle meal before you head out. It doesn't put you in a coma for 3 weeks. And it pisses me off that he brings God into everything as well. Huh? Takes a bite out of an onion ring, he's like, God, it's amazing. That's who's in charge of your food, is it? In between answering the prayers of the needy, the sick and the dying, the Father, Son and Holy Ghost has got time to knock you up a basket of fucking sweet potato fries, does he? Get a grip.
Yeah, again, it's not English. It's an English thing we do, but that isn't English food. You know what I mean? Or food in the UK. But people need to calm down. You know what? Great challenge. Go to somewhere that makes... I'm sure there's some, pop-up restaurant in the UK that's making, luxury beans on toast, right?
I need people to be so serious, because when Keith Lee announced his UK food tour, right, and he said London, Bristol, Manchester and Paris, we should have known how the situation was going to end. Or it's actually ongoing. But I think what's really kind of frustrating about this whole thing is that Keith Lee is going to be a lot of Americans' insight into British food.
Good point.
A lot of Americans will live vicariously through him, because a lot of them will never actually come here and try British food or try a lot of the ethnic foods that exist in the UK due
to immigration, she's going to say. And yes, A lot of our food, a lot of our good food exists because of immigration in the past. A lot of our curry dishes. There's so many places you can go that there's like British, it's so weird because it's like British food, but actually it's like a curry. You know what I mean? Like there's so many amazing things that are staples to us in England that aren't English. You know what I mean? They're staples in our diet, or they're staples of like, oh, we're ordering food tonight, let's have this, which we love, that aren't English, but it's something we eat in the UK. We don't just eat beans on toast, you know what I mean? So technically it's not our food, but what people think is our food isn't really what we eat. It's like saying to people in the US, all you eat is burgers all the time, when we know that's not true.
Of immigration, right? So they will just take Keith Lee's opinion on the food and think, yes, all of the stereotypes that I've heard about British food from this American have been reinforced by another American.
Right.
But what I think everyone else in the world needs to understand is, my personal opinion, Americans on the whole aren't people who like food. They like the idea of food. They like the concept of food. They like the fullness that food gives them. But they don't actually like food through no fault of their own, mainly just due to the government's lack of funding and any sort of high quality and quality assurance of food. The fact that they let any random preservative and E-number and any dega pesticide, herbicide, everything in their food, pumping it full of who knows what. I'm not saying the UK doesn't have a problem, but Americans so lax with their laws, right? So it's no fault of the American people. But I think because for decades and decades and decades and decades, they haven't had just baseline, fresh, organic, like good quality food. They've had to oversalt, overseason, overpreserve everything to the degree that they can't actually taste the base ingredient anymore. Because how did Keith Lee have a pork sausage in his fry-up and say, this tastes like pork? As opposed to, he had mushrooms and bubble and squeak, and he said, this tastes like the ingredients. As opposed to, now, before anyone says, oh, you just don't like to season your food. I'm West Indian. I grew up eating West Indian food. I cook West Indian food myself. I know about seasonings. But what everyone else in, let's just use the developed world as an example, understands is that sometimes the freshness of the food can carry a dish.
Mm-mm.
Even in the Caribbean, where people like to season their food. If you have, say, fresh fish, you do a little salt, a little lemon juice, a little seasoning, a little herb. But you let the freshness and the flavour of the fish carry the meal. I cannot think of a single American dish where you let the freshness of the main ingredient carry it. The only examples I can think of are things like French fine dining. Like, I watch a lot of Hell's Kitchen with Gordon Ramsay, and like the stuff that he makes is very much like French influenced cuisine. And you know, my fellow Brits, you just have to breathe in, breathe out. At the end of the day, is Keith Lee the arbiter of all things great British food? And a message to Americans, right? You can fry beans on toast, bangers and mash, a fry-up, Sunday roast, shepherd's pie, cottage pie, apple crumble out of my cold, dead, rigor mortis set hands. You will never be able to shame me for it. I will always love it. Thank you.
Very well said, actually. Yes, okay, I want to hear about the Americans.
If you guys need a good laugh and you have not seen people in London crashing out over Keith Lee.
Okay, the whole of the UK is crashing out over Keith Lee, and then she starts with London. London is a city in England. It's not the UK. It's not even in the same country as a lot of the UK, all right?
Being there and not being able to find spicy seasoned food. Oh my God, and not even spicy, just seasoned foods.
If you're in London, you can find spicy and seasoned food.
Seasoned food with spices. So he's only so far been able to find like one super solid restaurant. It was a Jamaican restaurant, bless his heart. And so now he's tried multiple English breakfasts to try to appease the people in London because, hello, it's an English breakfast and he's not digging it too much because he's American and we have our breakfast food here. And so many people from London are crashing.
It's not just London. I can't take people, when they just say London all the time, I can't take it seriously.
Out on these videos. I just saw one girl be like, I'm scratching my face off. What you mean? He's not had beans and toast together.
That was perfect. That was a perfect English voice. That was good.
Has, but he just happened to take a separate bite and she freaked out. And then I saw another creator being like, What do you mean he's had the blood pudding without the eggs? Or at least a bite of sausage. You don't eat blood pudding on its own. I promise you that the coagulated blood in the blood pudding is not going to get so much better with a bite of egg or a bite of
Oh, it does.
sausage. At least not the way y'all think it does. It might for you, but
Yeah.
for our American taste buds, it's still coagulated blood. That's what it's going to be, you know? And now to make it like the best, because he's not been able to find super good food, now you have Londoners being like, you've got to try the chicken tikka masala.
Chicken tikka.
That's Indian.
So yeah, this is a very good point. It's an Indian dish, but so chicken tikka is an Indian dish. Chicken tikka masala was, so I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong, due to immigration and people realizing that people in the UK couldn't really handle spicy foods, right? So they added like cream, or they made it more palatable or more manageable, we should say, for the British audience. So that's one of those dishes I was saying is like a British staple, even though it's not British or English or from London.
Like all the colonization for all the spices for Keith Lee to show up hundreds of years later and not be able to find shit.
I mean, he is looking in the wrong places. Again, as somebody who's lived in the US and the UK for a very long time, each side, you can find better places to eat in England than just places that have English breakfast. Why did no one give this guy recommendations? Why was Netflix not like, let's take you to some of the best places? Okay, so it says, it's so funny watching the People's Princess Keith Lee get dragged by British people. Americans can call our food unseasoned all they want. We let it slide. But the second you diss a fry up and call Yorkshire bread... Yorkshire bread? Oh, did he call Yorkshire pudding bread? Credibility questioned. He just wanted to eat good food and go on vacation. Now it's about to get real educational and enlightening for him. There's this whole perception, right, about US food being not real, and we can see for some things, you know, it's preserved. Honestly, I do sometimes wish we'd have some fake flavors in UK food, because there's some flavors in the US that I really like. But it's not like, this is the thing that really annoys me, is we are different countries. And for some reason, people always compare the US and the UK. We are different countries. We speak the same language, sure, but we're different countries. It's like me comparing our food to China and being like, that's weird. Or me going to Malaysia and being like, oh, this isn't like what we have at home. No shit, it's a different country. Even if I go to Scotland, there's different stuff. Scotland is, for people that think London is England, Scotland's above us in many different ways. Or me going to, I don't know, Albania and being like, the food is so different. Why don't they have an English breakfast? We are different fucking countries, right? So when we insult each other's food, it's like, okay, we're different countries. We've all grown up miles away from each other and things are different over here and over there. It's fine. That's life. I don't get why it's such a us versus them. So it wasn't just the full English breakfast that sent people into absolute hysteria though, right? Keith also went to try Spud Bros, right? They're basically like a jacket potato place, which is a baked potato and you cut it in half, you mush up all the potato and with butter and you put whatever you want on it. He didn't actually end up posting this video, but someone did leak some of a recording on Snapchat where after getting beans and tuna on his potato, what the fuck? Why would he do that? He spat it right out. The reaction from people was that bad, with again just the UK being offended, that he had to put out the video and address it, right? Why would he get beans and tuna on that though?
Me and my family are in Soho, London, England, and inside these containers is some of the craziest food I've ever tried in my entire life. I got it, let's try it, and rated 1 through 10. We spent 26 pounds or $32.76. The name of this place is Spud Bros. And the concept of Spud Bros is very simple. They made loaded potatoes, but that's the only simple thing about it. So we pulled up, the line was almost out the door. It's freezing out here, so we were sitting outside waiting. 2 owners walked up to us while we were standing in the middle of the line, and they said they was waiting for us to come. He tried to give us everything for free, but you know that's not how we roll. We know we pay for everything, and I told him straight to his face, I'm gonna be honest. Please don't be upset at me. Please don't think I'm calling your food brickle brackle with fizzy winkers, any of that. I'm just being honest. I'm gonna show you everything I got, and we're gonna try it and rate it 1 through 10. Okay, before I open this, they are not trolling. This is on the menu. What's in here is not specifically made just to play.
It's on the menu.
People seriously come and order this. Like, this is not a joke.
Right? Yeah, in America, it's a half tuna and beans.
That's it. It's like cardinal sin number 1 out there.
A tuna cheese bean, and tram sauce jacket potato. And this one is curry chicken with tram sauce, crispy onions, and garlic butter. And it's so much garlic butter, if I move, it's gonna tip everywhere. Oh, beans too. Again, this is tuna with mayo, crispy onions, tram sauce, which is like a spicy mayo, butter garlic or garlic butter,
And
cheese, and a potato. I'm gonna try to get everything at once. Again, I'm going to it extremely open-minded. You never know. I'm fully aware that the behind the scenes of this entire review was already posted by somebody in my team by mistake, which is completely okay. But the way it was reacted to made me not want to post a review at all. Only reason I'm posting it is because I was asked for my opinion on multiple occasions. And I don't like the narrative that was spun that I was being disrespectful, when in reality, the owner was sitting right there while I was trying, and he saw my reaction and gave me a thumbs up about it. The owner sitting right there, he just gave me a thumbs up. I was asked for my opinion. I gave my opinion, which was personally, it didn't work for me. Specifically because the amount of texture and flavors that was in the dish itself were not only extremely prominent on its own, but also clashed. So the fishiness from the tuna, the sweetness from the beans, the spiciness from the tram sauce, and the creaminess from the potato did not work well to me, in my opinion. But the thing that wasn't posted on Snap was my wife's and my cousin's reaction, which was this. My wife loves tuna. So.
Get the... Oh, that's the potato right there. Okay. Really, Keith? This is gas. I like it a lot.
What'd you give it?
Like an 8.
What does it taste like to you is my question.
Exactly what you said. I think without the spice, it would be bad. So I'm happy they did that. That's what brings a lot of seasoning and flavors to it. The way they cooked the potato with the tuna, like, it's all good textures that came together really nicely.
And my cousin just tried the tuna. He gave it a 7 out of 10. Yeah, he back there smashing. He don't like being on camera. What did it taste like to you?
It tastes like a potato protein bowl. Like the tuna, you can taste the tuna a lot. I think the beans bring a different kind of taste to it, almost like a sweet chili taste to it, but it also comes with the spice.
They give a very, like, hearty...
So it's a distinct taste. It's hard to like describe it. But
yeah, like, you know how our comfort food is like a bowl of chili?
Yes.
Is given that.
I like a chili bowl, protein chili bowl to me. That's what it tastes like. But I can literally sit here and eat this whole thing.
At no point was I disrespectful. I didn't like it. My family loved it. Everybody taste buds is different. Nobody taste buds is the end all be all. I say it all the time. I fully understand how this go. If I like something, I praise for it. If I don't like it, I'm every name in the book. I get it. This is the curry chicken. Now this should be more combined because you can see it's a full ordeal. In my opinion, this one's better. It's a lot of flavor. Like, I'm talking about flavor. The second it touched my tongue, it's spicy. I love the crispy onions on top. It's a lot. I can only see myself eating a few bites of this. But as it is, this is a 7 out of 10 for me. Like I always say, everybody tastes buds is different. And as always, after this, I pray and hope that they continue to reach their target audience. God bless you. Have an amazing day. Y'all be safe. Yeah, it ain't for everybody, but it's for the people.
I really don't understand the hate. Like, it's just, as an English person, right? The stuff that he tried, you don't eat every day. You know that is not your diet. You don't wake up in the morning and have a full English breakfast. You don't then go out and have a pie and mash. You don't then come home and have a roast dinner or a fucking shepherd's pie every single day, right? We eat American stuff too. We eat French stuff. We eat Indian stuff. We eat Jamaican stuff. We eat Nigerian food. London, especially where he was, has some of the best food from around the world. It's not English food, no. If somebody was to come to me and be like, I'm coming to London, where should I eat? I'm not going to recommend English food. Like, would you? Would you be like, oh, you need to go here and try a cottage pie? No, you wouldn't. You'd be like, I love it. There's this amazing restaurant that do this best whatever. But that's England. If we go out, we're not eating English food a lot of the time. We have it as our comfort foods, right? Just like maybe where you're from, there's a comfort food that no one else understands. Like, it's a comfort food. A lot of the stuff he was given is traditional in a way that it's a comfort. It was a comfort to people during the war because it's all they could have because of rations. And it stayed that way as a quick meal. Beans on toast is quick because they're like, you know what? I have nothing. There's no food, but I have bread, I have beans, I have cheese, I have the basics. Let me whack that. You know what I mean? At the same time, you can have amazing versions of it. But I don't think he got all the hate he deserved because he insulted a meal we might have once a week. You know what I mean? It's just a case of he personally didn't like it, right? His wife and cousin did end up liking a lot of it too. He was with his family. And it's stuff like the jacket potato, right? Or a pie and mash, or an English breakfast, or beans on toast. Don't need this whole review because it's just quick food. It's like we know it's not like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, give the queen, oh she's dead, give the king a pie and mash. It doesn't have a whole flavor profile. It doesn't need a whole review because it's so difficult to describe. It's like me it's like me being at home and making a grilled cheese and being like, oh, it's a bit too basic. I can taste the cheese, I can taste the ham, but then you get amazing grilled cheeses. You know what I mean? So, and there's places that will be, like pop-ups that will do the grilled cheese place, and you can have the best grilled cheese. No one's gonna put. I feel like no one in the UK is gonna put a shepherd's pie in front of someone and say that's the best meal you're ever gonna have ever. You know what I mean? Not because it's shit, but because it's not. And even the staff didn't take offense, right? Of their own food, right? And that's the thing about experimenting with food. It's not going to be for everyone. And if you're... I do have to say, for a food reviewer, he should have maybe done a little bit more research. Been a little bit more educated on the food, maybe the reason why a dish exists. That's the same worldwide, you know. And maybe the I was gonna say culture of eating, or how we eat in the UK or in England. I can't speak for the rest of the UK. In England is like, you know, I'm trying to think what I had this week. I haven't had beans on toast this week. I haven't had a shepherd's pie this week. I haven't had any of those English dishes this week. I've had foods from other countries from around the world, like everyone does. So it's very, very strange. I don't know. This whole like, oh, English people food. I get it. I do get it, because it's not the most out there. It's not the most creative. And you're not going to expect this like flavorful situation. But a lot of our foods are comfort food in the fact that it's warm, it's easy to make, and sometimes you just fancy something like that. You know what I mean? I'm not angry at him. And people need to stop being angry. I don't think he was being disrespectful. He even did this video where he was like, London is in the top 5 for food, mainly because it was of other cultures' food. But, which again is something that we indulge in a lot. But you can't expect somebody, as English people, like, come on, let's be real, right? We love it. We love toad in a hole. We love shepherd's pie because that is us. It's what we've grown up with. It's a comfort to us. But when somebody else comes over that isn't English, right? I'm not going to make them shepherd's pie. You know what I mean? All right. Let me know your opinions down below. You might completely disagree with me. And I don't cook. Let that be said. I don't cook. I don't even attempt to cook. So all I've ever eaten is these things at restaurants. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.